Welcome to our video tour of the Surrey Fire and Rescue Service. During this programme, we'll be visiting all the fire stations within the county of Surrey, showing you appliances, training at the Brigade's training centre, vehicle workshops, and the service's 999 call handling centre. We'll also see exclusive incident footage of the firefighters at work. The Surrey Fire and Rescue Service covers an area of 650 square miles. Within this area, just over 1 million people reside. 3 major motorways, the M3, the M23 and the M25, cross the county. There are 2 major railway routes, Waterloo to the south and west of England, and Victoria to Brighton and the south coast. Risk categorisation is predominantly C and D. Approximately 15% of the county is C and 85% is D. 24 fire stations cover this risk, 17 of which are whole-time stations, the other 7 are retained. On average, these stations receive in excess of 25,000 calls to incidents a year. We start our tour in the east of the county at Godstone Fire Station. Located just south of Junction 6 of the M25 at Tyler's Green, near to the village of Godstone, this modern fire station was built in 1974, being allocated 3 appliances. The station has 4 appliance bays and features an attached covered wash. Godstone's allocation of vehicles include this Volvo FL6 water tender ladder, which has now become Surrey's standard pumping appliance, a Mercedes-Benz 1276 water carrier, and a General Motors Corporation rapid intervention vehicle, more commonly known as an RIV. The RIVs are unusual vehicles. Built in Jamesville, Wisconsin, USA, they feature a 6.2-litre V8 diesel engine and a 4-speed automatic gearbox with 4-wheel drive capability. With the growing amount of traffic on today's roads, the accident rate is sadly rising. Surrey Fire and Rescue have 3 RIVs available for rescue work, and here we can see a demonstration of some of the equipment in use. Each RIV is crewed by 2 firefighters. The whole metro hydraulic spreading and cutting equipment is often used at road traffic accidents and other rescue scenarios. These cutters are capable of slicing through the roof support posts of a car very quickly, and the spreaders can exert a spreading force equal to about 4.5 tons. The petrol-driven hydraulic compressor can be used either on the vehicle as seen here, or can be carried to a remote location away from the vehicle. The appliance has an onboard generator, which produces 110 volts at 8 kVA, which powers 4 1000 watt lamps that can be elevated and positioned to the required working angle. Also carried is equipment for dealing with chemical spillages and decontamination, gas-tight suits, a gas detector and a radiation survey meter. This thermal imaging camera is used to detect people trapped in or under buildings, or, as we'll see later, fires in hidden compartments. Godstone's watchroom, like the rest in the county, is equipped with a mobilising printer, a PC and the usual office equipment. Just 3.5 miles away from Godstone is Oxted Fire Station, which is a short distance from the A25 at Limpsfield. Set back from the main road up a long drive, the fire station nestles in a shallow hillside. Oxted is a retained station with a complement of 2 water tender ladders and 18 firefighters. The station was built in 1972. At the time of filming, Oxted was awaiting delivery of Dennis rapiers to replace these now elderly Mercedes pumps. Our visit was cut short, not only by failing light, but with the station responding to a woods fire back on Godstone's ground. This overlarge bonfire on the side of a hill could be seen for miles around and resulted in many repeat calls being received in the fire control from motorists on the M25 and M23, with most of the callers being unable to give a precise location of the fire. 5.5 miles to the south of Oxted is Lingfield Fire Station, which is also retained. This one-pump station was rebuilt in 1978, replacing an older structure on the same ground. It has 13 personnel and averages 180 turnouts a year. The well-known Lingfield racecourse is close to the village centre. Moving 9.5 miles to the west of Lingfield, we now arrive at Reigate. This large and imposing site is located just off the Croydon Road and is the hub of the Fire and Rescue Service. In this aerial view, we can see Reigate Fire Station in the lower part of the picture with the vehicle workshops opposite. The building was formerly the fire station until the workshops were integrated into the site in 1972, moving from an old building in the town. The large drill yard with its twin drill towers and firehouse has two large garage buildings adjacent, one of which is now used as a fitness centre. The training centre was totally refurbished and modernised in 1985, replacing old army-style wooden huts which are fondly remembered by the thousands of recruits who have passed through them on initial training courses over the years. Ray Park Centre now has international status, training not only UK fire service personnel but brigades from all over the world. The modern teaching facilities are second to none, with all up-to-date teaching aids available. The twin 5-floor drill towers are linked by a modern firehouse, inside of which most fire scenarios can be simulated. Not only for recruit hot fire training, but for continuation and refresher training for the service's 731 whole-time and 144 retained firefighters. Reigate Fire Station is also housed within the site. The existing building was constructed in 1972. The station is of 5-bay construction, but with only 4 bays used. Reigate is allocated 2 water tender ladders. Great pride is taken by the station personnel in keeping their station neat and tidy, as illustrated here by the hanging baskets and well-kept garden. Practical training for Reigate is carried out in the adjacent Ray Park drill yard, where we can see line rescue training being performed. The line rescue team is made up of firefighters who are based in Reigate Fire Station and have volunteered to specialise in this type of rescue. The team consists of 2 instructors and 7 technicians per watch. Line rescue can be one of the most hazardous tasks undertaken by firefighters, and the team has the capability to rescue members of the public from situations where the normal methods of rescue cannot be achieved. They use a 2-line work system to carry out 5 basic types of rescue that can be adapted to suit most types of incidents.
Keep walking out, though. Walk out a fair bit. A bit more? Just a bit more. Step about there.
Alongside the headquarters building, known as St David's, is the service's Command and Control Centre. This 999 call reception centre has a staff of 25 control officers who work with some of the most modern communications and IT equipment available.
Hello? Hello, control. Hello? Does this sound like we're having a conversation with each other by any chance? Okay.
The operators process incoming calls on a computer mobilising system. This system allows swift and efficient handling of calls, ensuring the correct resources are deployed without delay.
Fire rescue. Find rescue. Thank you, Fire Rescue, can I help you?
There's a kitchen fire in the house down the road from me.
A kitchen fire, what address is that?
62 Ash Grove.
Yes? 62 Ash Grove, and which town or village is that?
Guildford.
In Guildford. So there's a kitchen fire at 62 Ash Grove in Guildford. Is there anybody inside the property, do you know?
Don't know.
OK, the fire brigade are on their way to you now, thank you for calling.
A computer mapping facility allows the operators to correctly locate the incident. All appliances are in touch with the Command and Control Centre via VHF radio that's also the bearer for a mobile data system, allowing fast updating of the appliance fleet movements. This gives the control officers a second-by-second account of incident progress. Not only do the operators have to control and manage the service's resources, but they also have to pass many calls to other fire brigades, police, ambulance and utility services. This all adds up to a busy day in control, even at the best of times. During spate conditions, or when a major incident is in progress, the room seen here in the background is activated and becomes the Major Incident Command. This allows the control room to function normally and continue with all the other routine work with a minimum of disruption. One such major incident was this timber yard fire at Burstow, close to Gatwick Airport, on Reigate's home ground. Over 100,000 wooden pallets were involved at this rural location. Adjacent to the timber yard was a car storage area used by holidaymakers flying out of Gatwick. Holding in excess of 500 vehicles, the storage area was rapidly involved by the radiated heat, and crews were faced with a daunting task on arrival. pumps were rapidly increased to 10, with 2 water carriers and a hose layer, and although the timber storage area was totally destroyed, the sterling efforts of the firefighters saved over 440 cars from fire damage. Because of the close proximity to Gatwick Airport, the BAA fire service also attended with 2 foam tender pumps. Here one of the airport tenders is in a position down a track where, by use of the foam monitor and handheld jets, a fire stop was made.
There. I was keeping some cylinders cool.
Due to the immense radiated heat generated from the timber, it wasn't only the car storage that was vulnerable to fire damage. A nearby mushroom factory was also endangered, along with a kennels and cattery and a further single-storey building. When high-voltage overhead power cable poles became involved, it necessitated a complete power shutdown to the area. The Mushroom Farms car park was used as an appliance holding point, and the service control unit and police controls were sited here. The airport's foam tender monitors were put to good advantage, as their considerable throw of water enabled firefighting to take place where firefighters were unable to gain access due to the heat. Numerous water relays were laid out over long distances, as the hydrant supplies were soon overrun. Hawley's hose layer and Surrey's water carriers were put to good use. A total of 10 jets, 5 hose reels and 2 foam monitors and some 70 BA sets were used to extinguish the fire. An indication of the heat given off is shown here by these melted road cones and burnt grass verge, which are at least 50 feet from the boundary wall of the woodyard. fire was brought under control in just over an hour and a half, with damping down, turning over and relief operations continuing until midday the next day. The service vehicle fleet, currently valued at over £10 million, comprises of 50 pumps and 20 special appliances and is maintained at the vehicle workshops at Reigate. The facilities are modern, and with a staff of 15, there's ample space for vehicle servicing in what is a light and airy environment. Not only are the vehicles looked after, but regular safety checks and repairs are made to the services ladders as well. The fire pumps also have to have attention. With the advent of tilting cabs, the mechanic's job has been made somewhat easier, allowing good access to the inner workings of the chassis. There are also 2 fixed total vehicle lifts in the workshop, as seen here. The workshops deal on average with 184 vehicle services throughout the year. For minor repairs that cannot be done whilst the appliances are in the workshops, there's a Mercedes van that allows a mechanic to visit fire stations to carry out the work. This allows appliances to stay on the run longer and saves taking the appliance to Reigate workshops, which for some stations would require a long cross-county journey. The Fleet Manager's Office deals with the day-to-day fault reports and manages the spare appliance fleet movements for when on-the-run appliances are called in for servicing and repairs. To become a full-time firefighter and to be able to ride these appliances in response to the public's demand, a very intensive 16-week training course is undertaken. During that time, educational and practical abilities are taught and frequently tried and tested until the raw recruits become a finely honed and cohesive team. To be able to enter a building like this, which is involved in fire, climbing ladders and wearing breathing apparatus needs not only skill and training, but stamina and courage as well. With high levels of effort being required at incident situations, which can last for hours at a time, the adrenaline rush is high. Of course, not all incidents are fires, and training in other skills is required. Here, chemical incident procedure is being practiced. Following exposure to a chemical, the correct decontamination and cleaning up operations have to be followed. In this example, wet decontamination is being carried out, and these portable showers are used to wash any remaining residues or powder from the operative. Training with other specialist appliances is also carried out. Here, Leatherhead's Bronto aerial ladder platform is demonstrating an operational pitch. The ALPs are powered by a Volvo turbo diesel, which has a 320 brake horsepower engine with automatic transmission. The chassis utilises a 3-axle design and weighs in at 25,700 kilograms. The maximum working height of the platform is 32 metres above ground or 5 metres below ground. This facility is useful if an incident is located down an embankment. The Bronto is capable of extending down to remove casualties or to supply firefighters with equipment. The Bronto Skylift is used at high-rise fires and rescues where conventional fire service ladders are unable to reach. The cage holds up to 5 people. It can also be used as a crane, able to lift loads of up to 2,000 kilograms. The appliance can still be used in winds of up to 32 miles an hour. 2 deliveries are fitted so that hose lines can get to work into upper floors, or with the monitor it can be used as a water tower. The monitor and platform can be remotely controlled from the ground, so that crews are not unnecessarily placed in a hazardous situation. The monitor can deliver up to 880 gallons of water per minute. Training is not only carried out during the daytime and in all weathers, but at night as well. Everything takes on a different perspective in the dark, so procedures and routines have to be practiced. Here the smokehouse has been stoked up, and the heat levels allowed to build so that fully realistic training can be experienced by the recruit firefighters in what will be, in a few weeks' time, their duty alongside their colleagues. Road traffic accident training is also practised. With Surrey ambulance paramedics and local hospital nursing staff taking part to add to the realism, these exercises can take over an hour to complete.
Leslie and Alison, check the vital signs of your patient. Okay, keep checking.
There's no compensation.
Nice one. Okay, and again. All right, 2, 3.
They give the recruits quality, realistic training in road accident extrication procedures.
Let's go, let's go.
And again.
The board's stuck, that's as far as it's going.
Ray Park Centre's breathing apparatus training facilities are second to none. Here at the start to a training session, compressed air cylinders are readied for the exercise. The centre's specialist staff plan out the exercise, selecting where the casualties are to be located for rescue and planning the routes that the recruits will be following.
Team 3, one behind the door. Team on their own, aren't they? One squad, son.
With the fire cribs laid ready for lighting up, the work of preparing the firehouse is, in itself, arduous. With its frequent use, the building never really cools down, and any exertion soon presents a sweat. The recruits are briefed on all relevant safety issues and are given an indication of the exercise content.
Silly little thing, but like picking up and knowing which way to turn it for a wide setting straight away.
They're also shown how to use a water spray against a wall of fire and heat without endangering themselves.
Because what you're doing, you're calling the gases in front of you, you're calling the gases up above you. If you go down like that, you've got a load of water going onto the floor, and that's going to transfer into steam if you start up.
With the breathing apparatus sets laid out ready for the off, the cribs are lit. Heat build-up within the firehouse is rapid, with all levels quickly filling with smoke and hot gases of combustion. The recruits soon enter at the start of their search for unaccounted persons. the instructors lurk in the corners, watching and assessing the recruits' every move. A second team enters from a first-floor balcony. The theory of entry procedure that they have previously been taught now makes real practical sense.
Okay, Andy. Grab the whole stick all off, mate. Alright,
The first teams get to grip with the firefighting on the lower levels, and a third team enters. These exercises can last up to 2 hours, depending on what level of skill requirements are being taught. Moving on, we arrive 6 miles west of Reigate at Dorking Fire Station. Built in 1971 in North Holmwood at Spook Hill, the site is south of the main town of Dorking, replacing the old fire station that was located in West Street. The station has a complement of one water tender ladder, a water carrier and a Land Rover pump. The station's ground has the normal risks associated with a small market town, that is, small groups of housing amid a rural setting. There are isolated risks such as the Mullard's Space Laboratory and the seasonal tourist attractions of Leith Hill and Box Hill, which attract many walkers, bikers and visitors. Moving north by approximately 5 miles, we arrive at Leatherhead Fire Station. Located down a long driveway off the Cobham Road, situated just west of the town, this is a 1969 built fire station with 4 appliance bays, one of which is a covered wash area. This station has a water tender ladder, aerial ladder platform and a water carrier. The station's ground is very similar to Dorking's, comprising of a small town centre with outlying villages. The M25 motorway lies to the north of the town, with the National Trust-owned Polesden Lacey, Royal Air Force Headley Court and the Royal School for the Blind all being listed buildings within Leatherhead's ground. The Mercedes-Benz water carriers are based on a 1276 chassis and powered by a Mercedes OM442 naturally aspirated V8 diesel engine, which develops 195 kilowatts of power at 2,100 revs per minute. The transmission is automatic with a lock-up clutch and kick-down facility. The vehicle weighs 17 tonnes. Whilst at Leatherhead, we were given a demonstration of the water carrier's role. Used to supplement water supplies at incidents where there's a limited supply or none available, these vehicles can carry 9,000 litres of water. That's 2,000 gallons in old money. Or, by refilling at their base station, 9,000 litres of foam-making compound. Here, a portable dam is being deployed, so that, using the Ulcan 2 cargo pump, the contents of the vehicle's tank can be pumped into it. A pumping appliance can then link to the dam by hard suction and be used for firefighting whilst the water carrier goes away and refills. Subsequent carriers can fill the dam once it is in place, thereby setting up a water shuttle system. Following the drill, we were all enjoying a nice cuppa when business called, and Leatherhead were off, out on an emergency call. Eight miles to the northeast of Leatherhead is Epsom Fire Station, located opposite the Surrey Ambulance Service Station in Church Street. Despite refurbishment in 1987, this traditional 1936-built fire station can still conjure up memories of days gone by, when, as a young child, you could stand and wonder at the impressive line of gleaming red fire appliances as they awaited their next call-out. With a 5-floor drill tower dominating the relatively small drill yard, the station is overlooked on all sides. Unlike the old photograph of the 1950s you've just seen, Epsom's current allocation of appliances is now only 2 water tender ladders. The station has been modified over the years with this bay extension, which was made to accommodate a hydraulic platform that replaced the older Dennis turntable ladder that served at Epsom for many years. Epsom Station's ground borders onto the great metropolis of London, and it encompasses a large amount of suburbia. In its time, Epsom was an extremely busy station, once having 5 major mental hospitals on its patch, which generated numerous good intent fire alarm calls. This being said, it's the second busiest 2-pump station in the county, averaging over 2,300 turnouts a year. Epsom also has an emergency control room facility, so that in the event of the main control at Reigate being unavailable, emergency calls can be processed and appliances mobilised from here. The famous racecourse at Epsom, located up on the Downs at Tattenham Corner, and the 2 prisons, Highview and Downsview, give a wide diversity of potential risks that Epsom must be prepared to deal with. Whilst making this video, Surrey Fire and Rescue Service were in the middle of a programme to replace their pumping appliances, and we were invited to visit Saxon Sandbeck's factory in Cheshire to see the new Volvo appliances under construction. A pump starts life as a new Volvo FL6 chassis with a 2-person crew cab that's later modified, and is delivered to Saxons at Crewe for the body construction to take place. The first components to be added to the chassis are the glass-reinforced plastic 1800-litre water tanks, and then the Godiva World Series 2,250 litres per minute fire pumps. These pumps have 4 outlet deliveries and low and high pressure capabilities with a reciprocating primer. With these installed, all the additional control cables and electrical wiring is then fitted. The locker assemblies are pre-constructed and are next to be added to the chassis, together with the extended crew cabin which provides seating for up to 6. Production standards are high and regular quality assurance checks are made during construction. Doors are added next, and here we see the cab assembly being prepared for its final coat of paint. This current production run is for 12 appliances, with a further batch of 6 to follow. As final adjustments are made to the roof, we see the stowage fittings being tested with the standard stowage items. Each appliance build is made up of hundreds of individual components. Everything must be fitted correctly and has to meet the exacting standards of the fire appliance JCDD specifications, to which all new fire appliances must be constructed. As we move on down the production line, we see the door draft excluders being applied. Only when the appliance reaches this end of the line is it ready for the final testing of its systems. One of the last jobs is to apply the service's name to the side of the bodywork, and another new fire appliance is completed. Following the rollout of a new machine from the factory, the vehicle is subjected to an acceptance test by Surrey's vehicle engineers. This involves a 15 to 20 mile drive of the appliance, allowing the controls to be thoroughly tested for correct operation. The automatic gearbox and engine performance is checked to ensure that gear changes occur at the right road speeds, and that maximum engine speed for each gear can be achieved when using the gear lock facility. The Old Cheshire town of Sandbach witnesses the return to the factory of the test appliance, where further adjustments are made if required. Every appliance off the production run will be tested in this manner. In the evening, the vehicle's lights and lighting systems are tested. A new system of overhead lighting has been fitted, which has eliminated the need for a standalone generator to be built into the vehicle. Instead, a second high-output alternator supplies the 110-volt mast lighting, the two 12-volt cab outlets and the 4 vehicle scene lights, as well as the pump operator's working light. A new battery management system will prevent the batteries from becoming totally exhausted, so that the vehicle will always start. Following the Cheshire tests, the vehicles are delivered to Reigate and, after loading a vehicle with its full complement of equipment and water, it is further tested at the Chobham test track. Fleet Manager Dave Higlett explains.
We're here at Chobham at the government test track this morning to tilt test the vehicle that you can see behind me, which is a Volvo FL6, which is the 8th Volvo of this kind to join our fleet. This is the first vehicle of a number of 18 which will join the fleet over the next 2 years probably. We particularly chose this vehicle because of its specification, in that it offers us a 250 brake horsepower engine complete with supercharger and turbocharger, and gives us the kind of power ratio that we're looking for the fire service fleet. In addition, the bodywork was made by Saxons of Sandbach in Cheshire, and it has what is known as the Saxon Volume X cab, which on inspection you would find to be a very roomy cab indeed, and is a great favourite of course with the crews that have to ride in it. Another good thing about the Volvo of course is that it is a good vehicle from a maintenance point of view. The maintenance levels are fairly low, spare parts are reasonably inexpensive and can be obtained easily, and the vehicle can be repaired quite easily. Overall, the service that one would get from the Volvo organisation is 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, and it is a pretty good service as well. So all in all, we're very happy that we have gone in this direction, and we think that this vehicle will be a success.
After careful positioning on the vehicle tilt bed, the appliance is secured in position with chains. The test table floor then starts to tilt, and the vehicle is closely watched to see at what angle the wheels lift from the floor. The angle is shown on the inclinometer, and in this case 36.1 degrees was achieved. Having turned the vehicle round, a further tilt test is made, which again achieves a similar result. The next stage of the tests is to check on the weigh table the axle loadings. This is done with all wheels on the table, and then again after repositioning the near side and offside weights. A new feature on these appliances is the introduction of a bullhorn or junction horn, which improves the warning of approach to other road users. Slope tests are next, and on the 14 degrees slope the appliance's handbrake and hill start capabilities are tested. Then, after turning at the top, an even steeper slope is descended at 18.5 degrees, again to test the handbrake. The tests then conclude with some general handling trials of the vehicle.